Good evening to everyone. Who would have believed that 500 people would show up in London on a Friday night in June to hear a speech about capitalism? Maybe if we had called it 50 Shades of Capitalism. But no, we are here because we are about to hear from one of the most generous and most gifted men of his generation. Let me give you a little background of how we got here. When the City of London became aware of our work on inclusive capitalism, they talked to me about the idea of having a globally important conference on the topic. I agreed immediately, but I said, if it is going to be iconic, we have to get President Clinton. And that's because when he was president, all Americans grew together for the first time in decades. The poorest 20% and the top 5% all grew together. When he left office in 2000, 71% of Americans said, "My children will have a better life than I." That was up 22% during the time that he was president. The term inclusive capitalism could not have existed at that time because it would then have been a redundancy. The sadness is that now it's an oxymoron for many people. So in 2012, when I wrote President Clinton and I said I believed that investors and corporate leaders were ready to join together to help ensure that capitalism creates shared prosperity, shared trusts, shared outcomes that are socially and environmentally sustainable, he could easily have said no. But when I saw him, he said, with that finger, which you'll see tonight, "Lynn," I can't do a Clinton. Only Kevin Spacey can do Clinton. And Bono does it pretty well as well, but I can't. He said, "Lynn, I am going to do that. This is really important." And then last year, after our first conference, he called and he said, "Lynn, that was really good. You have to do it again. And next year, you need to formulate strategies that people can act on, and I will help you." So not only has President Clinton helped us craft our next steps, but he's spent the day with us today, and he's come to talk with all of you tonight about the potential and the process of inclusive capitalism. I am also fortunate to many of the giants of industry and finance who have helped us create the Coalition for Inclusive Capitalism. The list is too long of the people who have joined the working group and helped us, but I welcome you to go to our website. But that said, I must really thank the Lord Mayor and the incredible staff of the City of London. They have been great partners. They have invited us in and been so incredibly generous. And I also have to say that today would not have been possible without the great generosity of the Rockefeller, Ford, Elamilu, Gatsby, Blavatnik Foundation, AMG, Sunshine Katie, and the amazing work of the Economist events and also Cajun Magazine. So at our first conference a year ago, we set out reasons for investors and corporate leaders to engage in the pursuit of inclusive capitalism. Mark Carney, as you know, Governor of the Bank of England, put it this way. He said in this room last year, "Capitalism loses its sense of moderation when the belief in the power of the markets enters the realm of faith. Unchecked market fundamentalism can devour the social capital essential for the long-term dynamism of capitalism itself. He was right, and those words were heard around the world, including in a speech to bankers by Hillary Clinton. Let's face it, if capitalism were working, the term the 1% would not have gained such traction. But happily, I can honestly say that I think progress is being made. There's a long way to go. But what we didn't have last year was this very credible and important series of studies that have shown that companies that pursue the tenets of inclusive capitalism not only have better operational and share performance, as well as a lower cost of capital, but have a more stable workforce, a sustainable supply chain, and most importantly, they have deep relations with their customers, their communities, and their investors. I told the group this morning that together we had leaders representing over $25 trillion, almost 1/3 of all global institutional assets under management. That is awesome. And social scientists tell us that when only 20% of a group holds an unshakable belief, their belief will always become the belief of the majority. So that means that we can change capitalism, we can renew it, we can restore it, we can strengthen it. And to tell us how to get there, we have none other than President Clinton. I have known him and his family, including his mom and Hillary's mom, for over 20 years. My family and I are in awe of their generous hearts and their deep commitment to leaving the world a better place than the way they found it. They have made a huge difference already, and something tells me it ain't over yet. To God. So, from my mouth to God's ears, will you please welcome President Clinton, the 42nd President of the United States and the chair of the Bill, Hillary, and Chelsea Foundation. I'm going to get a kiss.
Thank you very much.